Grammy nominee Jon Batiste is a musician whose work and story you may think you know well. Prepare to be surprised and inspired. Here's Jim Axelrod.
When this year's Grammy nominations were announced,
hello to you, I'm Gayle King.
Jon Batiste heard his name 11 times.
Jon Batiste.
Jon Batiste.
Jon Batiste.
The most of any artist this year. 8 for his album We Are, and 3 for his work on the soundtrack of the movie Soul.
They just kept calling your name.
I was really floored every single time.
We Are demonstrates his extraordinary range.
When I move my body just like this, I don't know why, but I feel like freedom.
From his funky New Orleans roots, heard on the track Freedom, that dares you not to dance, to the classical jazzy hybrid, Movement 11.
You've said God gave us 12 notes.
Yes.
What did you do with those 12 notes on these 2 albums that is responsible for such a claim?
I've always thought that you have a sound, and the sound represents something. Like you hear this sound, or you hear this sound, or you hear this sound. You know what I'm saying? The music is always speaking to you. If you're listening, it's telling you what to do. It's not what did I do with it, it's what did it tell me to do.
The most honored artist this year with 11 nominations is Mr. Jon Batiste, right there.
Best known for his day job, the band leader on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Jon Batiste is no one's wingman now.
Well,
This is his moment.
what a year.
Yes, indeed, amen.
But if you're thinking things couldn't be any better for Jon Batiste, don't.
One thing that I've learned from this time is it can all go away. Things can change very quickly. From one day to the next, your world can be turned upside down.
8 days before the nominations, on the eve of his 35th birthday, the love of his life, author Suleika Jaouad, got sucker punched.
How are you?
Yeah, a lot has changed in a year.
We first met Suleika last year as she was launching her bestseller, Between Two Kingdoms, a wise and moving meditation on healing from the leukemia that interrupted her life in her 20s.
Are you healed?
To say that I'm healed would be to imply that there's an end point.
How prophetic that turned out to be.
Not only was my leukemia back, but it was far more aggressive than it had been a decade ago.
The biggest day of Jon's professional life last fall was Suleika's first day of chemo in her second battle with cancer.
We're sitting in this chemo suite together, and these phone calls of congratulation are coming in, and we're having to hold these 2 realities.
Their world was shaking, but Jon and Suleika were determined to find their balance.
It's holding the absolutely, gutting, heartbreaking, painful things and the beautiful, soulful things in the same palm of one hand. And it's hard to do that, but you have to do that because otherwise the grief takes over.
Which brings us to this past February and their idea of how to best meet their harrowing reality.
You are married.
We are married. We've been secret married until this moment. We had this tiny, beautiful little ceremony. We didn't have wedding bands. We used bread ties.
Together for 8 years, the night before her bone marrow transplant struck them as the perfect time to make it official.
Okay, this has happened, but this isn't going to interrupt the plan that we had. This is just a bump in the road.
And something like getting married can be an act of optimism, an act of declaration, an act of we have a future.
Yes, it's an act of defiance. The darkness will try to overtake you, but just turn on the light. Focus on the light. Hold on to the light.
But married or not, Omicron meant Jon couldn't stay with Suleika after the transplant. She was alone, with only her fear to keep her company.
It's the quiet moments of kind of hollow suffering in the hospital where you suddenly sit with yourself and you sit with what's happening to you.
Utter
and
isolation.
Utter isolation. And I expressed something to that effect to Jon, and next thing I know, I see him hunched over his computer, and half an hour later, he starts playing this lullaby. And every single day after that, he wrote me a new lullaby, and it felt like he was right there, you know, sleeping by my bedside.
They had healing property to the music.
That you wrote just for her,
Right.
to provide support and strength?
Yes, absolutely. And to fill the room with these healing properties. For me, that's my way. Everybody will have their way, you know, but seek that. Meditate on that. Focus on those things. Find those things.
They are now both finding those things, confronting the worst by relying on their best.
Finding some form of creative expression to express what feels impossible to express the unendurable has been so important.
Suleika's focus is on the serious. Wow. Painting self-portraits depicting her treatment.
You're fearless.
And the whimsical.
We have yet to name her.
Bedazzling the walker she now uses at the age of 33.
So now instead of looking at this walker and feeling a sense of dread, it kind of makes me happy.
As for Jon, next month at Carnegie Hall, he debuts American Symphony, his work reflecting the tension between America's ideals and its realities, our bright day and our dark night.
The night theme, it evokes a chant-like quality. Oh, and then you have this. You know, that, oh, wah, da, da, that's the date. That sense of triumph over adversity.
A theme that captures the full sweep of Jon Batiste's and Suleika Jaouad's lives right now. That rotation between triumph and adversity.
They say, there you go. You see how they connect? That shift, the rotation. Yes.
And that's what you're living right now. The brightness of this professional, all of these achievements, and the darkness of the struggle.
Yeah, that's life, man. That's it. Strap in.